Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to do a deep dive into Lois Lowry's The Giver.
Ooh, The Giver.
Yeah, have you read this one?
I have, yes. It's been a while.
Oh, it's so good.
It's a classic.
This book, it kind of just drops you right into this world
Yeah.
where everything is like perfect, but also everything is completely controlled.
Yes, and it's all for this idea of sameness.
Right, sameness.
And I think that's what makes it so interesting, right? You think you're getting this utopia,
Yeah.
but as you dig deeper, you see there's a lot more going on beneath the surface.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so Lowry really doesn't waste any time getting us there, right?
Right.
I mean, in those first couple chapters, we meet Jonas, our main guy.
Your protagonist, yeah.
And we learn about all these crazy rules and rituals that kind of run his whole world.
Yeah, everything is planned out.
Everything.
From who you're going to be with to what your job is.
Yeah, you're born into it all.
Your family unit, it's all decided for you. There's no room for you to choose anything, really.
And there's no, like, emotion or even color. It's wild.
Right. Individuality, feelings, even color, all gone.
Okay, so then we get to this thing called the Ceremony of 12.
Yes.
Where basically all these kids are given their jobs for life.
Their assignments.
Right.
And Jonas, well,
His is a doozy.
he gets chosen to be the receiver of memory.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, pretty intense, right?
So what is that? Like,
Yeah.
what does that even mean?
Well, he basically becomes this, like, solitary figure in the community. And he's the only one who gets to hold all the memories from the past.
The community's past, you mean?
Exactly. All those memories that were sacrificed for the sake of sameness.
You mean like...
Emotions,
Yeah.
experiences, just the vibrancy of life before they decided to make everything the same.
Wow. So he's got a lot on his plate.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
It's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
And past receivers have really struggled with it.
Yeah, I bet.
It's not easy.
So essentially, he's got to kind of step into the shoes of this guy, the giver, who's the current receiver, rather.
Right, the current receiver of memory.
And he's the one who's going to, like, train Jonas.
Mentor him, guide him through all of this.
Okay, so chapters 4 and 5 kind of introduce us to this whole giver character.
Yes.
And they show us how he actually passes on these memories.
Yeah, and it's not like your typical classroom situation.
Oh, really?
No, it's this really unique process, almost physical.
What do you mean physical?
He transmits the memories to Jonas through touch.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And these memories, they're so vivid, so intense. Jonas has never experienced anything like it.
Right, because his whole life has been like this blank slate.
Exactly.
So what's like the first memory he gets?
So the first one that's really powerful is this memory of a sled ride, like down a snowy hill.
Okay.
And that's actually the first time Jonas sees color.
Whoa. That's incredible.
So it really highlights what the community has given up
Right.
for this so-called stability.
The sameness. Okay, so as Jonas is getting all these memories, what's happening to him?
Well, the more memories he receives, the more he starts to understand what sameness actually costs. He starts to experience love, joy, beauty, all of that. But he also experiences the bad stuff, too.
Oh, wait.
Pain, loss, heartbreak, all of it.
I can't imagine. That's got to be tough.
Oh, it is. It's a lot for him to process, especially when no one else around him can even fathom these things.
Right. They don't know.
They have no concept of it.
Okay, so chapters 6 and 7 show us Jonas kind of struggling with this whole thing.
Yeah, he's got this new knowledge, but he can't really share it with anyone.
Oh, man.
He tries to talk to his family, his friends,
Sure.
but they just don't get it.
Of course.
They've been conditioned to accept sameness as the only way.
Right.
So anything outside of that is just irrelevant to them.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to make him feel so isolated.
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
that isolation really starts to weigh on him. He feels like he's all alone with these memories, both the good ones and the bad ones.
So what does he do?
Well, he keeps meeting with the giver.
Okay.
And as their relationship deepens, Jonas starts to learn even more about the community's past.
Right.
And he learns about this concept of release,
So, yeah, release.
which the community presents as this peaceful transition.
That's a good thing.
Right. But in reality, it's euthanasia.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's a pretty dark secret.
That's a total game changer.
It is. And it's at this point that Jonas starts to question everything he thought he knew about his world.
Makes sense.
That veil of perfection is lifted, and he sees the darkness that's lurking underneath.
Wow. So in chapter 8, we see him continuing his training with the giver.
Yes.
And he receives some pretty heavy memories, right?
Right. He gets memories of war and death,
Oh, wow.
which really deepen his understanding of what it means to be human.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also really tough for him.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to reconcile these intense emotions with the sanitized version of like he's always known.
It's like he's living in two totally different worlds.
Exactly.
That's got to be so confusing.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens next?
Well, in chapter 9, there's this like heartbreaking revelation. The giver tells Jonas about Rosemary.
Rosemary.
Yeah, his daughter.
Oh, wow.
She was actually the receiver before Jonas.
Oh, so she went through all this too.
She did, but it was too much for her. You know, she couldn't handle the pain of the memories.
Oh, no.
And in the end, she asked to be released.
Oh, my God. That's so sad.
It is. And it really shakes Jonas to his core.
Yeah, it makes the whole idea of release feel so personal.
Exactly.
And it also kind of foreshadows what could happen to him.
Right. It shows him the potential dangers of his role as receiver.
So this sets the stage for a major shift in the story, right?
Yeah, things really start to change after this.
Okay, so in chapter 10, what happens?
Well, Jonas and the giver decide they need to do something drastic. They realize the community has lost something essential.
Right, they've lost all that color, all that emotion.
Exactly. And they think the only way to bring it back is for Jonas to escape.
Escape? What do you mean?
Escape from the community.
Wow, okay.
They think that if he leaves, all those memories he's carrying will be released back into the community.
That's their plan.
It's a risky plan, but they think it's the only way to break the hold of sameness.
Okay, but then something unexpected happens, right?
Right.
I mean, their plan gets kind of complicated.
Yes. Gabriel arrives.
Oh, yeah, Gabriel.
This new child who's struggling at the nurturing center.
Right, so he's like a baby.
Yeah, he's just a baby.
And Jonas, he feels really connected to Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because he's been sharing those soothing memories with him.
Yeah, to help him sleep.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Jonas learns that Gabriel is scheduled for release.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What does he do?
Well, this is where his personal feelings really clash with the community's rules.
Mm-hmm.
He can't stand by and watch this innocent baby be killed.
No, of course not. Especially after everything he's learned about release. So this forces him to make a huge decision.
It does. It's a decision that's going to change everything.
Okay, so now we're at chapter 17.
Yes.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll dive into Jonas's escape, his crazy journey into the unknown,
All the challenges he faces.
and how he fights for his own freedom.
And for Gabriel's future.
For a better future.
Yeah, a future with choice.
A future with color.
With emotion.
With everything.
With everything. Okay, so Jonas is escaping, right? He's going into elsewhere.
Right, elsewhere.
And that's where things get really interesting in the book.
Yeah, it's like a whole different feel.
Exactly. Because remember, he's lived his entire life in this controlled environment.
Right.
Everything's the same. Always.
Yeah, no surprises.
Exactly. And now, suddenly he's hit with this, like, wave of sensory experiences.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like he steps out of this black and white movie and into a full-color world.
That's a great way to put it.
Chapters 18 and 19, they're just packed with descriptions of weather changing.
Oh.
You know, the terrain gets all bumpy and rugged instead of those smooth bike paths.
Yeah, those bike paths.
And he starts hearing animals.
Animals.
Yeah, like real animals.
Yeah.
You know, all the stuff the community decided was too risky.
Right, too dangerous.
Too unpredictable.
But, I mean, elsewhere is dangerous too, right?
Oh, it is, for sure.
Yeah.
And Jonas faces some real threats out there.
Like what?
Well, he's got to deal with hunger and exhaustion.
Oh, man.
And he's constantly afraid of being caught.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he really has to rely on his instincts and all those memories the giver gave him.
Oh, yeah, the memories, that's right.
Yeah, to survive.
So it's more than just a physical journey for him.
Absolutely. It's emotional, it's psychological. He's pushing himself to the limit.
Wow.
But he keeps going. He's driven by this deep sense of responsibility for Gabriel.
Who that be?
Yeah, he wants to give Gabriel a chance at a life with choice.
That's powerful.
It is. And, you know, it's not easy.
No, I bet not. He's facing some tough consequences.
He is, but he never gives up.
Good for him.
In fact, he draws strength from those memories.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like he'll use memories of sunshine to warm Gabriel up when they're cold.
Really?
And memories of love and family to comfort him when he's scared.
That's amazing.
It's really beautiful how Lowry shows the power of human connection through those memories. You know, they're intangible, but they have this very real impact on Jonas and Gabriel.
Yeah, they help them survive.
They do. So what about the community?
Yeah, what's going on back there while all this is happening?
Well, we see their reaction through the people Jonas left behind.
Okay.
His parents, his friends, they're all confused.
Yeah. No.
They don't understand what he's done or why.
And they're probably looking for him, right?
No, definitely. They're searching everywhere. They send out planes, search parties, the whole works.
Wow. They really want him back.
They do. It shows how much they value order and control.
I mean, Jonas escaping, that's like a huge crack in their perfect little world.
It is. And they can't let that stand.
So Jonas and Gabriel, they're in elsewhere.
Yeah.
Chapters 20 and 21.
Yeah, they're going further and further, but the landscape gets even tougher.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it gets colder, snow starts falling, it's brutal.
I can't imagine.
And it's like those external challenges are mirroring what's going on inside Jonas.
Oh, you mean his internal struggle?
Yeah, he's starting to doubt himself.
Yeah.
He's feeling the weight of his decision, and he has no idea what's going to happen.
It's a pretty bleak situation.
It is. It really is. Lowry really builds the suspense.
Yeah.
You know, as their situation gets more and more desperate, they're losing strength, and even their hope is fading.
But then something happens, right?
Yes. In chapter 22, something shifts.
Like a turning point.
It is. In this moment of pure desperation, Jonas remembers this memory. A memory the giver gave him about a sled.
A sled?
Yeah, and it's a memory filled with joy, exhilaration, and this feeling of belonging.
Wow. Okay.
And get this, in this snowy wasteland at the top of a hill, he finds a sled.
No way. A real sled?
Yes. It's like this sign that they're not alone.
Oh,
That there's something more out there.
A sign of hope.
Exactly. And the way Lowry describes it, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
The language becomes so lyrical, it pulls you right into the moment.
So they get on the sled.
They do. And they're gliding towards this uncertain future.
Okay, what happens next?
Well, in chapter 23, they start seeing lights in the distance.
Lights? Like from a town?
Maybe. It's not totally clear.
Oh,
and they
man.
hear music.
Wow.
But the ending, it's left open.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we don't know for sure if they made it to safety.
So we don't know if they found a real haven or if it's just an illusion.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's one of the things that makes The Giver so powerful.
Yeah, it makes you think, man, that ending, it really does leave you hanging, huh?
It does. It really does.
Like, did they actually make it? Or is it all just, like, in their heads?
Right. It's like this giant question mark.
Yeah, and you keep thinking about it long after you finish the book.
Oh, absolutely. It sticks with you, that's for sure. What do you think Lowry's trying to say by ending it that way?
Good question.
Like, why leave it so open?
Yeah, why not just tell us what happens?
Right.
I think maybe it goes back to that whole idea of, like, personal interpretation.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Jonas's whole journey, it's about breaking free from all those rules, right?
Yeah, from that community that tells you exactly how to think and feel.
So by leaving the ending open, maybe Lowry is letting us decide what hope and freedom look like.
For Jonas and Gabriel.
Right, for them, for us, for everyone.
That's a really interesting way to think about it.
It's like there's no right or wrong answer.
And that's okay.
Exactly.
The Giver. It's often called a young adult book.
Yeah, I've always thought of it that way.
But honestly, it's so much more than that.
It really is.
It has these themes that resonate with everyone.
Yeah, no matter how old you are.
Why do you think that is? What makes it so universal?
Well, I think it's because it deals with, like, these basic human experiences. We all want to feel connected to others.
Yeah.
We struggle with fitting in.
Right.
And we're always searching for meaning in our lives.
Absolutely. Those are things we all go through.
Exactly. And The Giver just presents it all in this really powerful, unforgettable way.
It does. It makes you think about what you would do in that situation.
Yeah. Would you choose sameness?
A world without pain or conflict, but also without real joy.
It's tempting, but then you see what Jonas goes through.
You see the cost of that kind of control.
Yeah, you can't just erase the bad stuff.
Can't. And you can't erase the good stuff either.
Right, like love and freedom and all that.
If you had to, like, sum up the main message of The Giver, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down to just one thing.
But I think it's about, like, the importance of being yourself.
Yes, embracing your individuality.
And valuing your emotions.
And cherishing your memories.
Yeah, all of that is part of what makes life meaningful.
It really is. The Giver reminds us to pay attention to the choices we make.
Every choice, big or small.
And to think about how those choices affect us and everyone around us.
It's a call to action, isn't it?
It is. It totally is. It's like Lowry saying, don't just sit back and let life happen to you.
Yeah, get out there and make a difference.
Exactly. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Even when things are tough.
Even when it's scary.
The Giver shows us that we all have the power to bring light and hope to the world.
Even in the darkest of times.
Well, on that note, we'll leave you to ponder all the layers of The Giver.
Yeah, it's a book that will stay with you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll be back soon with another amazing story.
Until next time.